Well, hello there. It has been a really long time since I've done one of these things. People in chat there were saying that I'm late and gay. I am not, in fact. I am on time and straight today because I set this for like 9:35 my time and I started exactly on time, god damn it. See, that's what I'm able to do when I don't have to rely on other people. But anyway, here I am and here you are. It's like I say, it's been a long time since I've done a Ask the Drinker stream. And I get the impression that my internet just like froze there for a few seconds. So apologies. Apologies if my voice glitched out there for a second or two. But that's okay. We'll make the best of it. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a while, you know. It's been a while since I've done one, and it's just fun to do this without having like some set agenda, like open bar, without having like a panel of guests or whatever. And just get a chance to talk to you guys and answer your questions as best I can. So, I mean, I'll do my best. You know, I have no idea what you're going to ask me, but let me see what I can do for you. Let's see who's in chat and what are you guys saying to me tonight? What's this? Oh, what's this? Drinker, what's your favorite film from The Guy from the Menu? Is that Nicholas Hoult by any chance? Yeah, it probably is. Yeah. Man, I mean, I loved him in Nosferatu. I thought that was an excellent movie. Really enjoyed that one. I don't know if The Menu might still be my favorite performance of his. It's definitely not going to be Lex Luthor anyway, that's for sure. What was this one here? Yes, first super chat came in. Saw Demon Slayer twice. Anime is dominating, buddy. Yes, it very much is, and I'm fine with that. You know, if Hollywood won't give people what they want, if it won't give us like heroes and actual good storytelling, interesting characters, we'll go elsewhere for it, as we should. And that's fine. I'm totally down with that. What was this next one? Muggy says, "Hey, Drinker, I've been going back in time and reading works of Robert E. Howard because I think people today are gay. Even you gay lord." Cheers. Did Robert E. Howard, is he the Conan the Barbarian author? I just want to check to make sure I'm right on that one because I don't want to go on unfounded assumptions here. I believe he is. Yeah, he looks familiar. Oh, yeah, there he is. Yeah, Conan the Barbarian. Go for it and enjoy it, my son. Yeah, what can I say? I still am a millennial ultimately, so that does make me gay. So yeah, go for the older stuff for sure. Alex Belfour says, "Have you seen the 80s classic Gymkata? I don't know how you say that. Gymkata. I don't know. I have not seen that, I'm afraid. No, sorry, man. Street Triple Matt says, "What's your thoughts on The Sopranos?" So I've only seen like season 1 of The Sopranos. Like I am so fucking far behind with that show. It's ridiculous. Because they made a lot of it, obviously, and I started way late. I really liked it. Like, you know, Tony and all his struggles, like trying to like hold this crime empire together while he's kind of falling apart and having to go to therapy and stuff, and all his problems with his family. It's really good stuff, and I think ultimately it was like a show that really kicked off the era of like prestige TV and said like, yeah, we can get big stars in, we can tell excellent stories, and it can be relatively big budget and have it feel like a movie. And this was like way back. I think the first season was like 1999, like super far back. Ruby says, sorry, Ruby's become a channel member, so welcome aboard. Thank you. Waylon Bucephus says, "My cock smile or my cunts?" Go for my cunt. Every time, man. Every time. Thomas Polin Stavik says, "Do you job your love?" I mean, I love my job. I don't know if I job my love. I try to as often as I can, you know? What can I say, man? Look, I get to, as part of my job, I get to drink and rant about stuff. And I've got the good stuff tonight, you see? I've got the single barrel jack, and this is 45%. So it will get me even drunker than before. Perfect for doing shots. Next question was D, who says, "How quickly will we see AI feature films from start to finish? Wouldn't that be the end?" I think we're probably 5, maybe 10 years away from that. Like actual movies that make sense that are made by AI. Obviously, they can do clips. They can produce those really cool looking, 5-second clips, which are great and stuff, but like they have to tie it together into an actual narrative. And it's not really capable of doing that and sustaining that yet. But it's only a matter of time, man. That's the sad reality of it. And, I, for one, welcome our AI overlords. I hope they're merciful to us. Eric Johnson says, always loved your channel, man. Keep up the good work. P.S. I hear you're mentioning Sydney Sweeney in your videos a lot. Back off, bro. She's mine. Fuck, I'll fight you for her. I mean, what can I say? There's a lot to love about her. I think there's enough of her to go around. What can I say? Fear of Fema says, favorite Robert Redford movie. Obviously, the man himself passed away today. It's sad, but he was 89 years old. So, he's certainly had a good innings, and he had an incredible career. So, I mean, what can you say? It's sad to see a guy like that go, but it's another one of the big movie stars, of that bygone age, and I feel like we're losing more and more of them at the moment. And it doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier. Sticky Fingered Bandit says, what was your favorite arcade game as a child, or when at an arcade? Arcade game, it was probably either Street Fighter 2, which was amazing. We were spoiled as kids in the arcades. What was the other one? Possibly Afterburner, which was just like this. I'm going to say a flight sim is probably pushing it, but it was like a very action-packed flying game. That was fucking awesome. Love playing that game. So I guess those would be my two top picks. I miss arcades. It's just, home consoles obviously completely supplanted them at a certain point. What's the next one? Fishburger James. Hey, Drinker, big fan. What's your favorite Nolan? Apologies, by the way, if I'm just like going through super chats alone. It's just I don't want them to get too far ahead of me, and then I'm never able to catch up. So I'm trying to keep up as best I can. Favorite Nolan movie. It might be either The Prestige or Memento. I think very much his early stuff. Certainly there's things to like about some of his later movies. Obviously, The Dark Knight. What was I going to say? Dunkirk as a war movie, superbly staged. I wasn't really keen on the non-chronological storytelling aspect of it, but otherwise a really good film. Interstellar, up until the ending, I was really enjoying it. But yeah, probably his earlier stuff I'm more of a fan of. David says, a lot of people don't know that you have a gaming channel. I do indeed, The Critical Gamer. So I try to make as much time as I can to do it. It's like I've already got obviously the main channel. I try to produce 3 videos a week on that. That definitely keeps me busy. I've got the second channel, which is like Drinker's Extra Shot reviews. So that's additional reviews plus all the live stream uploads and the clips and everything. So I've got that. And in between, I also try to do my gaming channel. So I try to do occasional game reviews and playthroughs, that sort of thing. So it's a bit of fun, but I try and indulge it as much as I can. I like just, playing a bit of Resident Evil or something, doing a laid back gaming stream. It's good stuff, man. Thought Criminal, £4.99 super chat. So thank you, man. Next one. Jordan says, drink of choice, favorite war movie pre-90s. So pre-90s, probably would be things like Platoon, maybe going really far back, things like Waterloo or The Longest Day. Like, I kind of love those old classic war movies. Battle of the River Plate, I like that one. Where Eagles Dare. Like, I proper like the 50s and 60s when they did war movies. They were just great adventure movies. Obviously, The Great Escape, Bridge on the River Kwai. I don't know, man. Those movies just had something special about them. And drink of choice, I mean, my favorite probably would be Lagavulin whiskey. I mean, that stuff is just the fucking bomb. It's like £70 a bottle now, so it's getting pretty expensive, but it is worth it. It's good stuff. Master of Puppets. He's been a member for 24 months, you legend. Drinker, since you enjoyed All of Us Are Dead, you should give another Asian zombie show a try. It's it's called Happiness. Cheers from New Zealand. Well, thank you. Happiness. All right, I'll need to take a look at that because I don't know. I feel like places like Korea, Japan, China, they are doing zombie stuff really well. Train to Busan obviously was superb. All of Us Are Dead, really enjoyed that. Kingdom was another one. That was a Korean show. That was like zombies set in like medieval or feudal times in Korea. Another excellent one. So yeah, I'll take a look. Melvin says Andor's still cack. No, sir, you're cack. You take that shit outside. We'll not have any of that talk here. The Opal says Dizzy Flores or Carmen Ibanez. I mean, Carmen's got bigger jugs, but Dizzy's far and away the better person. Yeah, she's the more rational choice, I would say. So I would go Dizzy all the way. Oh. And the actress who plays her is still fucking hot. Can't really say the same for Denise Richards. Cool Winter Storm, thank you, man. Reaper says, would you say that you're happy with how Rogue Elements turned out? What would you have done differently based on feedback and criticism? So I think like if say 10 out of 10 is like the best movie that I think we could have got out of that script and like everything was perfect, and 0 out of 10 is just like complete disaster, hated every second of it, it's probably a 6 or a 7. Like we had to make a lot of compromises from the original script in order to meet our budget, to work around restrictions on the day. There's a lot of problems, unfortunately, that come up when you're, say, shooting on location, or the weather turns against you, or you've got time constraints, shots take longer than expected. All that stuff, unfortunately, does work against you, particularly when you're doing indie filmmaking, and you're trying to do action sequences and stuff. That was our Achilles heel, unfortunately. So I think it's a 6 or a 7 out of 10 for me. But it's definitely not a perfect movie. In terms of what I would change, I would probably take out a lot of the references to stuff that happens in the books. Like, I think that movie is going to be a real good experience for people that are familiar with the novels that it's based on. But that's obviously not the majority of people who saw it. I mean, that's just the reality. And so a lot of people would probably get all these references to past events or characters or whatever, and there's not enough explanation for them to understand what the fuck's going on. And so they were probably left scratching their heads like, what's happening right now? Who is this person? Why are they significant? So that's 100% on me, really. When it comes to script writing, it's a case of understanding what your audience knows and what they can take realistically from the script you've written. And unfortunately, it's a bit of a learning process. So yeah, it's live and learn. I don't think it was a complete disaster or anything, but it taught us a lot of things about what we would do differently next time. We're going to try and apply that to what we do now. We've got obviously a new batch of short films coming out. A couple of them are based on the Ryan Drake book series. One is Mahler's movie, which is all in the can and done, which is looking really nice, actually. And the fourth one is going to be the winner of our competition, who's, a bunch of our backers on Kickstarter. They submitted their own scripts and we picked our winner. And so they're going to get their story made. So there's a nice little variety of things that we're putting out now. And it's all a learning process. And hopefully we're going to produce things that are much leaner and, much more catered to our audience that we're aiming for here. So, I'm sure it's one of those things that people are going to love to shit on me on for the rest of my days. Like, oh, you made a movie that wasn't perfect. Well, fuck it. You do your best. What can I say? Discordian says, R.I.P. Robert Redford. Absolutely. Butch Cassidy, The Sting, Jeremiah Johnson, or do you have a different favorite? I mean, Butch Cassidy's probably going to be up there, isn't it? Absolutely superb. And just Redford was like a different class, I always, there was a modern, excuse me, not exactly modern, but I think it was early 2000s. He was in a movie with James Gandolfini called The Last Castle, which I really enjoyed. He's like a general who gets a bunch of his men killed in combat, and he's put into a military prison. So the warden is kind of sadistic and like basically arranges for people to be killed if they step too far out of line. And he basically stages a mutiny against him. And yeah, really good movie. Redford gives a great performance. Gandolfini is always fucking superb. So yeah, if you have never seen The Last Castle, give it a go. It's quite a fun little film. Excuse me, I've got all that whiskey stuck in my throat here. Oh, sorry, where is it? Alex Belfer says, it's a hilariously bad 80s movie combining the thrill of gymnastics and the deadliness of karate and a most dangerous game-like competition. You got me intrigued now, actually. Jim Kata, I'll have to give that a look. Thought Criminal, what's the greatest sci-fi film of all time? I mean, the temptation would be to say the basic bitch, like, 2001, A Space Odyssey or something. For me, it might be Blade Runner. I think that movie is absolutely superb from start to finish, kind of depending on which version you watch. But to fuse science fiction concepts about like the nature of humanity, artificial life, the dystopian sci-fi environments that they created, like absolutely gorgeous visuals, but then this really deep humanistic exploration of just what it means to be human and what, how we relate to the people around us, the value of a human life, the value of any life, actually. I think that might be one of the greatest sci-fi movies of all time for me. I could happily rewatch it anytime. Lucas Wilson says, thoughts on moving to the US? I'm poor as fuck, but I want to get out of here. It's getting scary here. It is in a way, but I think the tide is turning, if you catch my drift here. Yeah, things have changed quite a bit in the past year, particularly in the past few months. You can feel it. You can see it online constantly. You see it with the big marches and stuff that are going on. I think people have had enough. They've had enough of the bullshit, the censorship, the constantly having to police your every word, and they're done. They're fucking done with it, and they're pushing back against it. And it's about fucking time. So yeah, don't give up on us yet. And Americans, don't give up on us Brits. We haven't quit just yet, man. Rami Goodwin says, you don't need to answer, but thoughts on Charlie Kirk? Well, I mean, I think it's an absolute tragedy that what happened to him. We spoke about this on Open Bar last week. Whether you agreed with his politics or not, it doesn't fucking matter. He's ultimately a young husband and father taken from his family way too soon by some fucking asshole who just didn't like what he had to say. That was his crime, saying the wrong thing. But, I don't think his death was in vain, if that's any comfort whatsoever. And I know as cliched as it sounds, I think it's triggered something that there's not going to be any undoing. It's triggered a movement that was probably bigger than anything he'd managed to do in his life, and he did a lot in his life. So I'm not here to pass judgment on the man's beliefs or politics or anything, but he was taken from the world too soon, and that was very unjust. And I think the repercussions of this we're only just starting to feel. King Boomer says, is a muppet a favorite word of yours? I'm an American who uses it all the time. You fucking muppet. It's not really a Scottish thing. We would just call people a fucking cunt. Like, we don't use muppet here. It's more of an English thing, I guess. But apparently it can get you arrested these days. So, who knows? Maybe it's deeply offensive to some people. I don't know. Jay Smart says, spent a little over a decade working on a world and setting only to realize that I don't actually have a story. Would it be better to just start with some short stories before making a big one? Always a pleasure. So, you've done all your world building, but you don't have a story to put into it. No, I wouldn't say you have to go back and do short stories to build it up or anything. I would just say, take some time now. You've got the world that you want to work in. Now flesh out the story that you want to tell. You step back from it for a month or two, and then think about what you want to do. It's not something you have to rush. You're not to a deadline or anything. Take your time and then really understand what you want to do with it. Sick Pete Flash says, what's your favorite animated movie from your childhood and why? Any more plans to interview older movie stars like Tom Wilson? Absolutely, I'd love to. It's just a case of finding them, really, and seeing if they're up for doing it. Tom was like super accommodating, really nice guy. He's, out of all the people I've interviewed, he was probably the nicest guy I think I've spoke to. Just really generous with his time, and just gave really, like, I don't know how you could put it. Just a very heartfelt chap when he was talking about his career, his experiences, all that stuff. So yeah, 100% be up for doing more interviews with older movie stars. I guess tell me who you want me to talk to. Tell me the names you want to see me try and interview, and I'll do my best. It's one of those things that I just have to try and schedule it all in. Let's see. I'm just going to see what people say here. Yeah, James Evans says the Tom Wilson stream was fantastic. Lazarus says Bruce Willis. Sadly, I don't think that's going to be happening anytime. Chris Pratt is from Decoy Voice. Hey, man, fucking my door is open to Chris Pratt any day of the week. I think he's way too big for me. And he probably wouldn't be able to. It would be too damaging for his career. That's the sad reality of the world we live in. It might be changing, but it's not changing fast enough, unfortunately. And yeah, animated movies from my childhood. Well, let me think. Watership Down, for the severe emotional trauma that it caused me. I'm sure some fucking assholes here in the UK showed that movie at Easter. I swear, I've got this vivid memory as a kid, a little kid, like maybe 5 years old. It was Easter Sunday, and it was like, oh, what's on TV? Oh, there's this neat little movie about bunnies. That's cute. That'll be a nice, fun adventure. Oh, fuck, they're getting ripped to shreds. Like, oh no, stop. That was just brutal, man. Someone in like the BBC or ITV or whatever, they had a sick sense of humor back in the day, man. Yeah, people are saying there. James Evans says, yeah, I remember it being at Easter. Yeah, Normie the Navi says, yeah, they did do that. It's brutal. Absolutely brutal. What's this? Yeah, Arms says, the beard's looking epic. Enjoy the drinks. Well, I will. And you know what? Because you sent me a $50 super chat, I'm going to do a shot just for you, my friend. Thank you. There we go. Cheers, everyone. Oh, there you go. Cheers. Oh, it goes down smooth. Anyway, appreciate that, my friend. And yeah, I work on sculpting the beard daily. I look at it and just think, right, grow faster. Lewis Chudley says, hey, Drinker, I'm an aspiring writer. How did you go about publishing your book? So we're going back, 15 years at this point? When I was like an aspiring author myself. So you need to get yourself a literary agent to represent you. You're really not going to achieve much without that, because publishing houses won't take unsolicited manuscripts. So you got to approach a bunch of literary agents, probably get turned down by a shitload of them, until eventually, hopefully, one of them is going to take you on. And then they will present your manuscript to publishing houses and hopefully do a deal, usually over a boozy lunch, because they're a bunch of London assholes, and they do all their deals over drunken lunches. Trust me, I've been to quite a few, and so that's really the way to go about it. Get yourself a literary agent, and like I say, there's going to be a lot that will turn you down, but you just got to persevere with it. And when you do get one, they will act as a kind of surrogate editor as well to get your manuscript into proper shape. So good luck with that. What's this next one? Munihito Moro gave me 320 yen. Thank you. I don't know what that equates to in pounds, but thank you anyway, my friend. Gaming Crusade says, hello, Drinker. What's your favorite Disney film from your childhood? Also, thank you for bringing some light to our lives the past couple of weeks. Cheers. Yeah, it's been a week, hasn't it? I mean, I've been of two minds of what to do during this period, because it has been a bit grim recently in the real world, and it feels a bit cheap almost to be still making videos talking about movies and celebrities and stuff. Like, who fucking cares? Like, there's more important stuff going on. But I figure maybe people appreciate just a bit of escapism and a bit of, I don't know, a bit of laughter and a bit of fun, if I can try and provide that in some way. So that was my thought process to it. It's not a particularly intelligent thought process, but it's what I did. Disney film from my childhood, probably things like The Lion King and Aladdin, that sort of thing. Because I would have been, 7, 8, 9 years old when those movies came out. And so the late 80s, early 90s was very much my time with Disney movies. So I feel like I got that golden age of Disney animation. And yeah, I very much enjoyed them. That was when Disney were still pretty fucking good, actually, for what they did. Eddie's Too True says, I'm working on my first novel. I want to send you a free copy when it's done. Would you be willing to read it and review it when I send it to you? I mean, ultimately I can only say I'll do my best, right? And I don't want to promise you stuff that I can't do, because reading a book does take a bit of a commitment of time. And when I've got about a million other things that I need to attend to, it's difficult to guarantee that I can do that. All I can say is, like, by all means, send it. I will try to get around to it, but I don't want to promise anything I can't commit to. And I don't really want to do reviews of books, because it's not what I do on my channel. It's very much movies, TV shows, and games. So all I can do is try, unfortunately. Let's see. Cool Winter Storm says, ever thought of coming to New Zealand or Australia? I'd like to, right? But they're so fucking far away. And particularly in Australia, basically everything there wants to kill you. Like the wildlife, the people, the climate. It's all out to get you in Australia. And it's tough to stay alive there. And I just don't know if I can take it. So one day I will, right? Next year, I'm actually going to Japan. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm going to fly out to, I think it's South Korea we start, right? And then I'm going to take a cruise around Japan. So I'll be visiting a bunch of cities there. Very much looking forward to that, because that'll be by far the furthest trip I've ever taken. And Japan is just one of those fucking awesome countries that you've just got to see at some point in your life. So definitely going to do that. Right. Yeah, I like that. Everything in Australia is oversized and wants to kill you. Hope the beers are oversized. That's one thing I'm looking forward to. Yeah. What's else? The chat's like skimming by too quickly for me to catch up. Yeah, here's one here saying, oh, where is it? Yeah. Drinker, how'd you manage to feel sane in a seemingly unjust and insane world? Asking for a friend. Take a break from social media regularly. Like, particularly this past week, man, there was times I just had to step away from things like Twitter and stuff, because I knew I was just going to get fucking pissed, and I was going to end up saying something I would end up regretting. And so, like, you have to know when to just cut yourself off a little bit and just, for lack of a better word, go touch grass, because you do need it occasionally. You need a detox from all of that shit. So yeah, that's my best advice to people. Just don't get caught up in the online world too much, because it will consume you. Anne C. Jones says, would you be a guest on the Unsubscribed podcast if offered a chance, or have they already reached out and it's in the works? I can't remember, actually. I probably would go on if they asked me. I don't know if they have, though. Like, I get invites for various things, and sometimes they get lost in the mix a little bit. So not sure, but yeah, if the offer came through, I'd probably go on. Chief Critical, what inspired you to write your book, and any advice in writing? I'm trying myself, but getting writer's block and anxiety whenever I start a new chapter. What inspired me is I just fucking love storytelling. Like, that's why I did all of this. That's why I've got this channel. You know, ultimately, like, it's fine to shit on movies that are bad and pick them apart and stuff, but ultimately I do it because I appreciate good storytelling, and it kind of pisses me off when I see the opposite. You know, particularly when all the building blocks are there, whether it's like you've inherited this amazing franchise with great characters and really cool world building and stuff, and then you completely fuck it up because your own writing ability sucks. You know, that thing pisses me off, and that's what's inspired me to start my YouTube channel. And in the same vein, you know, I love the purity of storytelling. You know, whether it's like I'm going to sit down and write a short story or a full-on novel or whatever. You're not limited by anything except your creativity and your imagination. There's something really cool about that. And it's something I always wanted to do, even as a kid. Like, whenever we were given assignments, like in English, hey, write a short story that's like 2 pages long, and mine would be like 5 pages, just because I got really into it. That's what I've always had, and it's what I think I'll always have, until I'm too old to fucking do anything anymore. So yeah, I don't ever want to stop doing that. You don't ever want to stop creating things. It's what makes life fun. Guitar Guru says it's my 32nd birthday. I'm drinking at a bar. Take a shot with me. Well, I'll take a drink with you. There you go. Happy birthday, man. Hope you have a good one. Rami Goodwin. Oh shit, that's a 50. Gonna have to do a shot for this one. Let me bring it out. Yeah, what's your thoughts on Charlie Kirk? Sorry for being political. Yeah, as I said before, I think it's a tragedy that he was killed, that he died so young, that he left behind a wife and kids. And I appreciated the work that he was doing. As I say, irrespective of what he was saying politically, being willing to reach across the aisle and have discussions with people that he disagreed with. We absolutely need more of that in our current climate. People willing to talk, to debate, to argue the merits of their ideas, and maybe, who knows, reach some kind of consensus. And I think there's no substitute for having a conversation with a person face to face. They become not an abstract idea, not some imagined boogeyman that you're ranting about on social media and you just concocted this image of the worst human being imaginable. Just a person in front of you who has some opinions. Perhaps you disagree with them. Hey, let's talk it out. Maybe we can reach some sort of agreement. Hopefully it's in good faith. Not everyone is, but most people are. And then get something good at the end of it. And at least see the other side as human beings. We absolutely need more of that. And it's the fact that he's gone now is a real loss in that whole process. So anyway, man, cheers to you. Robert Hayes. Have you ever played any old PC games like Wing Commander or the Ultima series? I didn't really get into PC gaming until the early 2000s. Up until then, it had just been games consoles. And so in my early PC gaming days, it would be things like Half-Life, Half-Life 2, all the expansion packs, things like Call of Duty, the proper old Call of Duty that was like set during World War II, that sort of thing. Yeah, so those were probably my PC gaming experiences. But yeah, generally I was a console gamer. Yes, I'm part of the unwashed masses of console gamers. Sorry. Cannon Falderall says, Drinker, the Crash and Burn videos and Why Modern Movies Suck series is great. Really enjoy learning a bit about sausage making. Cheers. Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, the Crash and Burn thing is really useful in two ways. Like, one, it's just fun to do, like to talk about, celebrities or movie stars who just self-destruct. And also, like, when perhaps there's not much happening at the time, it's a great thing to do, that people enjoy and get a kick out of. Because holy shit, man, September has been a quiet fucking month for news and pop culture stuff and movie things going on. There has just basically been nothing. It's weird. You've probably noticed it when we've done open bar. Like, each week, what are we going to talk about this week? Well, there's fuck all happening. It reminds me of January again, where we're just like, I mean, we can shoot the breeze as much as you want, but you kind of want something interesting to chew on. The only thing we've got at the moment, like week to week, is Alien Earth, and holy shit, man, we're all losing our tether with that. That is just grim. So yeah, it's we're trying here, but we can't make news happen. Wonder Pandemonium says, worst director, Wood or Wiseau or Breen? Yeah, Neil Breen. I can't believe I've never talked about Neil Breen movies on my channel, actually. I almost feel like that's a series unto itself. Like, that man is an absolute legend. So yeah, Ed Wood or Tommy Wiseau. The thing is, Tommy Wiseau has only really done one fucking movie, and he's just been coasting on that his entire career. Yeah, and okay, the Room was hilariously shit. Ed Wood obviously has a bigger body of work, but I think most of the time he was constrained by like completely non-existent budgets and stuff. So Tommy Wiseau is probably the worst director out of the two. I can't say that name, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Will Hollywood ever be great again? If so, how soon? They have to, otherwise they will die. They will die a slow, miserable death of financial strangulation, sadly. And I hope it doesn't come to that. I want Hollywood to make great movies again. I think they will. Ultimately, they are a business, and businesses, they don't survive for 100 years or more unless they know something about how to react to the market. I just think this period that we're living through right now, this is going to be looked back on as like one of the most insane periods of human culture and history. But it seems like we're coming out the end of it now, and hopefully better times await all of us. Yeah. I like this. Hollywood needs to get back on the coke. Yep. Bring back the 80s, man. Like everyone was high on coke and they were just making absolute bangers. Loved it. Brilliant says, Drinker, absolutely love watching your channel. Thank you, man. I love the fact that you love watching it. What would you say is the reason for the quality decline in entertainment and games? I know this is a complex question. Would love to hear your thoughts. Yeah, it is a complex one. It's a combination of financial pressure, having to put more and more money into just creating these things in the first place. Like the cost of making movies has gone up and up and up, which generates a kind of risk-averse culture within the studios where they just want to, they want a sure bet. They want a surefire winner, which usually means mining an old IP or doing a remake or a reboot or God knows what else. And so that's part of the problem. The other part of the problem is, unfortunately, the constant drive for diversity and inclusion within Hollywood, particularly in the writing rooms, which means, you're doing away with experienced veterans who have been working in the industry for decades and are absolutely brilliant at their jobs because they're too white or they're too male or they're too, I don't know, conservative or whatever it is. You're replacing them with a bunch of people who don't have the experience necessary to do what they're asked to do because they've just been thrust into these roles. They haven't had a chance to bed in. They haven't had a chance to learn the ropes and work their way up. And you end up with garbage as a result. That's not even counting the amount of people who are just fucking activists and they don't even care about storytelling. They never cared. They just care about the message. So all of those different factors combined together is killing entertainment at the moment. Like I say, I think Hollywood has finally realized like we can't keep doing this. It is destroying our industry. We have to stop. And they are coming out the tail end of it now. But wow, the damage it has done is immense. Mr. Aaron Anani says Ricky Gervais was and still is right about the awards. Yes, 100%. They are the biggest wank fest imaginable. A bunch of rich celebrities in $10,000 dresses complaining about how the rich need to be brought to heel and claiming to advocate for the poor working class. Fuck off. Just fuck right off. You don't know anything about anything. You never worked a normal job in your entire life. You don't have a clue what the average person wants or needs. I'm so pleased that he just called all that bullshit out. It cost him his future hosting, gigs forever in Hollywood, but I don't think he fucking cares. I've got to respect that for him, 100%. Nicholas Keffer says, have you seen The Amazing Digital Circus? I've seen it 3 times and I still can't tell if I like it. It's a YouTube Netflix series. Haven't seen it yet. I've had a few people recommend it to us, me and Mahler. Haven't got around to watching it yet, but I will see. Normie says, I just saw a Scottish film called Kill, also known as Betrayal, other than needing to use closed captions since the accents were so heavy. It was brilliant. Ever see it? No, I haven't actually. What's this? Hold on. Let me have a look. I'm trying to be on a little bit of a Scottish kick. All right, so it's from 2023. Right, what do we know about this? Right. Family ties unravel. During a hunting trip and suspenseful forest thriller, three brothers and their bullying father go on a fateful outing in this subtle and twisty Scottish tale. Okay. Don't know much about it, but I mean, the premise sounds okay. But yeah, I've been trying to do a little bit of coverage of Scottish movies. I'm going through some of the classics from back in the 80s and 90s. So I just did Restless Natives, which was a personal favorite of mine over on my After Hours channel, my second channel. I'm probably going to do Local Hero next, and then Gregory's Girl. I don't know if I could bring myself to do Train Spotting. A lot of people have recommended Filth. I might do that, but holy shit, that's going to undermine my faith in humanity a little bit. Jose Picasso gifted a membership, so thank you, man. Sean G said, did you ever finish Expedition 33? If so, what are your thoughts? No, I haven't finished it. I stopped it temporarily so that I could play the Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 2 and 3, from the PlayStation era, just got released so you could get them off the PlayStation Store and play them on like a PS4 or 5. And I really wanted to play through them again for the nostalgia, so I did that. But I'm ready to go back to Expedition 33. It's been superb so far. Really intriguing premise, really interesting characters. Yeah, I like that game. Joe Dirt, your ass, my face. What the fuck? Hail Drinker, what will be the next big movie genre and what would you like it to be? For me, it would be the historical epic. That would be nice. I think it's going to be video game adaptations. They are 100% primed for that. And there's a million others. Like there's a million in the works right now that we just haven't heard much about, but they are absolutely going to get made over the next few years. I think when you think about the success of things like Minecraft, the Super Mario Brothers movie, the Sonic films, season 1 of The Last of Us, let's not talk about season 2. It's proven that it works now. And I think they're going to want to do a lot more because it fills that same niche as the idea of doing a remake or a reboot of an existing franchise. You've got an inbuilt audience, you've got a proven IP with a story that's essentially been written for you already. You just have to adapt it. It makes sense. So I think that's going to be the next big thing in Hollywood. Whether they'll fuck it up like they usually do, not sure yet. Also, I need to do a shot. Hold on. Just talk amongst yourselves while I'm patiently pouring this out. It takes a while, okay? I don't want to spill it all over myself. It looks like I pissed myself. Anyway, cheers to you, Joe Dirt, your ass. Oh, they're starting to burn. I'm not going to lie. Thomas Paulin Stavik says, would you do me the honor of critiquing my teaser for my action short film Ruins Ignite? It's like a what-if Star Wars action adventure. I mean, I could. Like, I'm not going to do it right now here on stream because I need to, download it and stuff. But, right, so Ruins Ignite. I take it that's on your YouTube channel. I will take a look. Timbo Slice says, loving the Crash and Burn series. Also watched 13 Going on 30 with my mum the other day and found out that Brie Larson was in it. Hindsight, she fit the character better than some may have known. Yeah. It was quite fascinating, actually, doing the sort of recap of her career and stuff for that, because there was roles that I didn't even know about that she was in. I think, like a lot of people, probably the first thing I saw her in was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. And back then, she was just an unknown actress, so I didn't really think much of it. Little did I know what she would one day become. But, I think I do feel bad for her a little bit at this point. There you are. I've gone on record and said it. I feel bad for her because she's basically tanked her Hollywood career. And who knows if she'll do anything anymore. Like, she doesn't seem to have anything coming up. Seems like that's just it for her. Yeah, Mars says, favorite DreamWorks animation movie of all time. So, was Up a DreamWorks movie? I need to look it up. Wait, ironically. Because I don't want to mislabel it unless it was Pixar or something. So, yeah, let me just check. I don't want to... Okay. Oh, Wild Robot was good. What else here? Okay. Yeah, it's giving me too many normal movies. Animated. Okay, let's see what we got here. Yeah, The Croods. That was quite good, actually. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. That was excellent. Way better than it had any right to be. That movie genuinely took me by surprise. What else? Kung Fu Panda. It was fine. The How to Train Your Dragon movies were surprisingly fun. Like, they were obviously like way, I was too old to like appreciate them as a kid by the time they came out, but I totally got what they were, what the appeal was. They were decent. Yeah, it might be Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, by the way. That movie was fucking excellent. What's the next one? Sorry. Yeah, Mike Caruso says, "Are you excited about the weapons director taking on Resident Evil next?" I'm a bit worried based on what he's been saying. Saying that like we're not going to have Resident Evil characters from the games in it. It's not necessarily going to follow the plot of the games. It's like, well, why are you doing it then if it's just something completely different? I hope he does a good job. Like, I think he did good directing duties with weapons. Hopefully, he doesn't fuck it up. I mean, when it comes to like comparing it to like Welcome to Raccoon City or the Netflix TV show, like he can't be any worse than that. Surely to God. Yeah, we'll wait and see. I'm not going to say I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm just cautious. Romet says, try Indri Trini single malt if you haven't already. I have never even heard of that. I need to give it a go then. What even is it? What is it? Indri Trini. Where is it from? Right. Yeah, single malt. Oh, it's Indian. Does India have a whiskey industry? This is news to me. I mean, I knew Japan had really embraced like single malts and stuff. I didn't know that India was into it. Wow. Okay. Need to try that one day. I like movies, says new video idea, Crash and Burn, the story of Kobe Bryant. There you go. Actually, I'd be interested for you guys to tell me, like, who would you like me to do a Crash and Burn on next, right? Because I did have the idea of maybe Jonathan Majors, maybe Patty Jenkins, like who did, Wonder Woman and then 1984 and then just fucking self-destructed. So, tell me, who do you think? Will Smith. Ooh. Yeah, that's not a bad one. Wesley Snipes. Yeah, that's fair. Mel Gibson. Yeah, he did kind of self-destruct. Like, obviously he's coming back a bit now, but man, he lost about 10 years of his career at least. Charlie Sheen. Yeah, that's another fair one. Someone said Red Letter Media. They haven't crashed and burned. They have some questionable takes about Star Wars these days. Yeah, what else? Yeah, Mickey Rourke. Yeah, that's fair. He crashed and burned twice, effectively. That dude had the world at his feet after doing The Wrestler, and then fucking just squandered it. Mark Hamill. I can't really do a crash and burn on him because he essentially did Star Wars, right? And then just went into voiceover roles and like smaller things and then never really rose to prominence. Like, he crashed and burned through social media, but that's like not the same as his Hollywood career. Yeah. Timothy Turner says Robert Downey Jr. Yeah. So yeah, obviously he absolutely self-destructed, but then he had the most epic comeback of all time. So I don't know. That's almost another series, like the Phoenix from the Ashes kind of actors who just absolutely rebounded from it. Ed Norton, yeah, he's sort of he developed a really bad reputation for being difficult to work with, and once you get that, there's no coming back from it. Taika Waititi, yeah, I am doing one on him. It's funny actually, when I was thinking about what one I was going to do from my most recent, it was either J.J. Abrams or Taika Waititi. And yeah, J.J. Abrams, I actually felt not bad about making the video, but more like I felt bad for him because I feel like he's not a bad guy. Someone like Taika Waititi seems like an arrogant dick, but like I think J.J. Abrams was just trying to make fun movies. He's just not very good at it. And he's fine as an action director. He just shouldn't be allowed to write films. And so, yeah, I don't think he deserves necessarily to be hated on or anything. He just got lumbered with the most impossible fucking mission ever: save Star Wars. All right, let me do a couple more of these super chats here as they're coming in because there's too many. Damn it. Oh yeah, did you ever finish Tomb Raider 2? No, I'm on the Barkhang Monastery, so I think there's only like 3 levels to go. So I'm almost there. It's like, what do you want me to do first? Tomb Raider 2, finish that off, or Expedition 33? I can't do them all at the same time, you know. Copper Wasp says, finished Ryan Drake's series yesterday and straight on to Dark Harvest. Thank you for your effort on the fantastic series. You done with novel writing? No, it's just that I'm kind of busy with the whole like running 3 YouTube channels thing, and also trying to do short films and convention appearances and all the stuff that comes with it. So it's just, the reality is I don't have time to write more books right at the moment. But I do want to get back to writing more novels. You know, who knows? Maybe I'll crash and burn on YouTube one day, right? And I'll be completely fucking vanished into obscurity. And then I'll just say, hey, I got some time on my hands. I'll write another book. So you never know. But yeah, I do want to get back to it one day. But I'm glad you enjoyed the series, mate. Undercover Blade says, Drinker, what are your thoughts on Dexter? The OG show ended in 2013, but they came back with a new show this year, and it's very good. I've heard it's really good, yeah. Was never a Dexter guy. Never really watched it. I mean, I know the premise. It's a cool idea. It's just was never a show that I was really particularly into. So I'm sorry. I'm the wrong guy to be offering thoughts on that one. Yeah, just being me. Drinker, when are you bringing back one of my favorite catchphrases? Don't know. Come on, man. I used to laugh when you said that. I just haven't had a movie that I could apply it to, really, where there's some dumbass fucking thing that happens and, you know, why is this going on? Don't know. But I will find a reason to use it just for you. Yeah, I also haven't used the whole, like, fuck off Tessa Thompson or fuck off Brie Larson thing for a while. So that's another one I need to bring back as well. It's, I don't know, man. Doing stuff like this reminds me of like how you can change a little bit over time when you're doing videos and like over a period of years. Maybe you get stuck in a rut a little bit and you lose some of the things that you used to find really fun and enjoyable. And I want to get back to that a little bit. Maybe it's just something I've been reflecting on a little bit with recent videos and recent things I've been making. I just kind of want to get back to that fun aspect of video making again. Gigi Allen says, have you seen Once Were Warriors, a Kiwi film? Taika Waititi and Tamura Morrison. It's brutal, man. You'll love it. Haven't seen that one, no. The earliest Taika Waititi movie I've seen was Hunt for the Wilderpeople, which is really fucking good. It's not as good as Jojo Rabbit, but it is a really good movie with Sam Neill. And yeah, I would recommend it to people. It was before Taika Waititi became an insufferable prick. CRAI Records, when are you going to review Dick Dynamite 1944? I did the poster for Robbie. I hear a dead drinker shows up in it. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm in that movie as a dead guy who's trying to get resuscitated by one of the characters. Like I'm a dead World War II soldier, and I've still got the sunglasses on. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I went and saw the premiere actually at Carnegie Hall in Dunfermline. And again, it's a fun movie, man. They did that whole thing, a World War II action movie kind of spoof on a budget of like 10 grand, something insane. And it is a whole lot of fun. For what they did, I think they should be really proud of what they accomplished with that. So if you've never heard or seen Dick Dynamite 1944, give it a watch sometime. Have a few beers beforehand, definitely, but it's a lot of fun. Excuse me. James Evans says, Hail Drinker, with the success of your Kickstarters, would you ever look into adapting Dark Harvest for the big screen? Love the book, by the way. Thank you very much, my friend. And I would totally be up for it. I don't think we could do that on like a short film budget like what we did with these other things, because it needs some big scale action sequences, loads of extras, basically. You're kind of looking at something on the scale of World War Z. Maybe not quite as big, but like similar idea. And I can't do that with the budgets available. So that needs a big screen, big budget adaptation. And I'd love to see it happen. Timothy gave me a $10 super chat. So thanks, man. Mr. Anani says, what are your thoughts on Tulsa King? Any favorite football team? So Tulsa King, really like, yeah. It's way more watchable than something like Yellowstone. And I don't mean that as a criticism of Yellowstone, because I really like that show as well. But Tulsa King is just way more accessible, and it's just more of a fun romp of a show. You know, Sylvester Stallone's just having a good time with it. Not particularly demanding in terms of the ins and outs of the characters and the plot and stuff. But yeah, it's just a good, fun TV show. I like it. I've seen both seasons so far. And yeah, Taylor Sheridan seems to have mastered that crazy hidden art of just like producing a new show every year, you know, a new season of TV. It's great. We were talking about this on Open Bar the other day. We're getting really fucking tired of like 3 years between seasons. Mr. Brown. Hello, Mr. Brown, one of my mods. Drinker, could you get my channel to 5,000 subs, please? Been ground to a halt for a while now. It will get things moving in the right direction. Well, there you go. For people who are watching this, if you've got the opportunity, perhaps you might consider subscribing to Mr. Brown Alliance. He's one of my mods, and he's trying to get his channel to 5,000 subscribers. So it's Mr. Brown Alliance. Larry Escher says, just a few bucks from one of your little soda pops. Damn songs are stuck in a loop in my head now. They fucking are, yeah. You're my soda pop. Ah, man, they are addictive. K-pop Demon Hunters, man, it's a fun movie. Like, I was definitely not the target audience, but I was pleased with it, you know. Fishburger James, any enjoyable aspects of the Star Wars sequels at all? Well, some of the action sequences are pretty good. Like, particularly Force Awakens, you know, they did really good. You know, the visual effects are fantastic in it. The attack on Starkiller Base towards the end is really good. The chase scene in the Millennium Falcon is good. The moment when Finn and Poe escape from the Star Destroyer in the TIE Fighter, you know, and they're getting shot at and they're blasting away at the stormtroopers. That all is pretty well staged. Like, I think they used quite a bit of pyrotechnics and practical effects for that sort of thing. Looks okay. So there's fun to be had on just a really simplistic visual level with those movies, if nothing else. So there is that, at least. But yeah, the rest of it is just dog shit, sadly. Arturo, Drinker, any chance of a watch or review of indie movie Late Night with the Devil for spooky season? Yeah. Was that an indie movie? Because it didn't feel like it. But yeah, I thought Late Night with the Devil was decent. For the whole like found footage thing, it didn't feel like it. It really felt like it was too staged as a movie, if you know what I mean. Like, it didn't immerse me in the way that I'd hoped. But like the overall premise was pretty fun. The late night talk show, the gradual escalation of the threat and the realization that something is very wrong, and then, you know, the gradual revelation about the host and what he went through and his connection to, you know, his wife and what happened to her. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but yeah, there's definitely good things to be pulled from that movie. It's just, it wasn't quite as involving or as immersive as I'd hoped. Bass Player says, no better whiskey than Islay whiskey, though I prefer Ardbeg to Lagavulin. What's your favorite Kubrick film? I think, yeah, Ardbeg's a decent whiskey as well. Lagavulin's still my favorite, but I get you. I can happily drink either, put it that way. Favorite Kubrick movie? Again, the sensible answer would be something more artsy, like 2001 or Clockwork Orange. It's probably going to be Full Metal Jacket, if I'm honest. Like, I think that movie was a superb war film, but also like this amazing analysis of the dehumanization of men as they get fed into this machine that turns them into soldiers. And yeah, the story of how it got made is just baffling as well. Wild shoot that they were on. The Shining is obviously another super strong movie, like basically defined horror. Like as a genre, the creeping, like psychological dread of that film is just superb. What's this one? Are you the guy from the glitzy overload meme? I hope I am. Put it that way. Archer Merchant joining late. Did you take a shot for Redford yet? Oh, that's a good point. Actually, it didn't. I've taken a few shots already, so this could be pushing it, but I will take a small shot for Robert Redford on that. And this also lets me catch my breath as well. So, all right, this is like a smaller one, okay? It's not all full, because otherwise I'll never make it to the end of this stream. And I know what happened last time, okay? I was fucking unconscious for like 2 days afterwards. So anyway, to the late, great Robert Redford, may you rest in peace. Oh, nice. Okay. Jacob Wolf, any video games based on movies that you played and like better than the movie? I love X-Men Wolverine on 360. Oh, games based on movies. Not that I can think of. It tends to go in the other direction for me, and it's usually not a good one, you know. Movies based on games, Resident Evil, that sort of thing. Yeah, I can't think of one that I've played based on movies where I've thought, oh yeah, this is fucking cool. Yeah, I can't think of one. Sorry, man. They've usually been bad, put it that way. Box office brawler. Sup, drinker? It's an absolute drought in theaters right now. Yeah, tell me about it, mate. Are you excited for anything coming out soon? I'm super excited for the next Avatar movie. I can't wait for the adventures of the Blue Smurf people. It's an adventure that's 20 years in the making, it seems like. Poor James Cameron. Actually, he fucking posted something the other day where he's apparently working on a script for another Terminator movie. It's like, Jim, no, just don't. We don't need more Terminator movies. Nothing good's going to come of that. Just leave it. Let it die. Just stop. Caesar Souza, drinker, I'll be in Edinburgh this Halloween. What fun, spooky shit goes on in Scotland? All kinds of spooky shit happens here, man. Any pubs, activities, tips, or other recommendations? So, good pubs for you to go in Edinburgh. Well, if you go to the Devil's Advocate down Advocate Close, that's right off the Royal Mile, that's like a bourbon bar, and it's got like every bourbon known to man. So I'm right at home there. There's the Sheep's Head, which is kind of on the other side of Edinburgh. So you go over Arthur's Seat. This actually makes for a really good walk, right? So you go up this hill / mountain that overlooks Edinburgh. And on the other side, you get into this, like, it's almost like a village within a city. It's a weird little place called Duddingston. But anyway, there's a pub there called the Sheep's Head. And it's the oldest pub in Scotland. I think it dates back to like the 17th century. So it's older than America. And you go there, and the food there is superb. So definitely try and do that if you get the chance. And you'll be fucking hungry by the time you get there. So that would be one that I would definitely recommend. The Jolly Judge is another good pub in Edinburgh. And the Bow Bar. The Bow Bar is like on your way down to the Grassmarket. That has got like the best selection of single malt whiskies that you can get anywhere in Edinburgh. I have never seen a place like it. If you can think of the whiskey, it's probably there behind the bar. So definitely check that place out again. What's the next one? Yeah. Are you worried Amazon will bastardize the 40K series? Yes, 100%. They absolutely fucking will. Poor Henry Cavill trying to turn this one around. I don't have much hope for that. Patrick Mulligan, going to call dibs on Gattaca Happy Hour, a timely film. Yeah, very much so. Anonymous, any thoughts on the Hyperion Cantos being adapted into films starting 2026? Excuse me. I have a sinking feeling it'll be similar to The Hobbit because it's a space opera too large for film. I don't know much about it, so I couldn't really offer you a thought on that, I'm afraid, man. I don't know what the scale of it is, what the ideas behind it are, or anything. So, yeah, I don't know, mate. I'm sorry. Laganas, if the X-Files was remade, who would play Mulder and Scully? Sydney Sweeney would play Scully, naturally. As for Mulder, Chris Pratt, maybe? I'm not sure. David Holt, mate. No, Nick Holt. Sorry, I don't know where I got David from. Nick Holt could probably play a Mulder type character, I think. So yeah, I reckon we can make that work. And she's got to get naked in every episode. That's my stipulation. Casey Boyd, given time travel is hard to get right. It is. I've tried to travel through time loads of times, and it just doesn't work, man. How do you think Attack on Titan handled it? I know it's a bit different, but you get the idea. I mean, they do it through non-chronological storytelling more than anything, and um, it's just confusing for the viewer. Like I've said this before, that final season, man, we're jumping backwards and forwards to stuff, but there's really no explanation for where we are at any particular time or what led up to it. And then totally incongruous stuff will happen, and then 5 episodes later, we'll jump back and actually understand what led up to it. It makes for quite a confusing experience, put it that way. So, yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of that style of storytelling. I thought the final season of Attack on Titan was just it was a bit too much. They were throwing everything at you, and there was just no respite from it. Excuse me, Dane Anderson. This was my first year starting a farm. I'm hoping to make it my job and main income in 5 years. My 4 hogs are close to 250 pounds and are getting slaughtered in 3 weeks. I'm so excited to make bacon. Oink oink, bitches. Well, enjoy the bacon, man. Yeah, I don't know. How much bacon do you get out of a hog? Like, I assume it's a lot in the same way that you get a lot of burgers out of a cow. But yeah, man, I hope you make a go of it. Clarkson's Farm has made me very passionate about farming. If the YouTube thing never works out, like I will just go to a farm and drink myself silly, and I'll sit with a shotgun and shoot peasants naturally. Anyway, next up, Wolf Better. Why is it that I can't watch a 2-hour movie anymore, but I can watch as 2-hour YouTube essay with no problem? It makes no sense. Probably because you can take your eyes off YouTube, and just listen to it. A video essay is just a person talking ultimately. With a movie, you kind of need to watch the screen and pay attention. There's that, and also the possibility that movies are just a bit shit and not all that involving now. But hey, on the plus side, you've got a Mauler review coming up that's probably going to be 15 hours long. So get ready for that. That'll keep you entertained for a while. Tessellate says, what's the funniest thing you ever saw in real life? It was probably on a night out, right? It was in Dundee, right? And it's that time in the night, like maybe 2, 3 in the morning, where all the clubs have emptied out and the pubs and stuff, and everyone's just kind of making their way home. Everyone's pissed as a fart. And I look across the street and there's this one guy walking along. And he, you can tell by looking at him, he's gonna hurl, he's gonna spew, and it's like I looked at him, and normally when people do that, they double up, like you've done it yourself probably. You kind of curl into a ball and like you throw up on the ground. This dude was an absolute connoisseur of it. He just, without breaking stride, he's just walking along and he just goes, just throws up projectile vomits and then carries on walking. I've never seen anyone do anything like that in my life. It was truly impressive. So yeah, that might be one of the best. It might be as well that I was completely drunk myself at the time, and it just made me laugh way more than it should have. But it was good. Daniel Luttrell says, thoughts on new Frankenstein movie releasing? Sure, I'm willing to give it a go. Yeah, I'm not like a huge Frankenstein aficionado. I remember the Aaron Eckhart movie just from a few years ago. It was like I, Frankenstein. Oh, that felt weird. I don't know if I was buying into that style, so we'll see what the new one's like. Irish John. Off topic, but at the end of the thing, people debate if Childs was human. I think he was, because if not, he would have killed McCready with the flamethrower or given him the Gary face kill. Yeah. I think this factors into the wonderful thing that I appreciate in movies sometimes, the ambiguity of an ending where you don't specifically know one way or the other. It's like at the end of Blade Runner. Was Deckard a replicant? We don't know for sure one way or the other, and I will fight anyone who says we do. And it's the same here. I like the ambiguity of not knowing are one or both of these guys infected or none of them. We don't know. We know they probably perished though at the end of the movie, so I'm happy with that. I think it's a perfect end to a perfect film. Peter Miros says, Anna de Armas, Sydney Sweeney, and Margaret Qualley walk into the drinker's bar. Show your whiskey-induced storytelling skills and complete the story. So they all walk into the bar. They see me and they get the fuck off with me. True story, bro. I could live with that story. It's a happy ending for all of us, I think. Patrick Mulligan, have you seen 12 Angry Men TV film? Check out the cast. No, I've seen the original movie from the 50s. Haven't seen the TV movie remake. I just feel like the originals, it's not going to be possible to top that. I mean, that movie was superb. It was Sidney Lumet, I think, who filmed it. Yeah, superb cast, superb cinematography, great performances. I guess I had no real incentive to watch anymore. Yeah, Jace Wildheart says, "Are you a fan of Irvin Welsh? Have you read Filth?" I haven't read Filth, no, because it sounds fucking horrible. I don't really love like bleak as fuck stories like that, so it's not really my cup of tea. Like, I totally appreciate and respect his work as a as a writer, but yeah, it's probably not for me, unfortunately. Matthew Murray, have you ever watched Babylon 5? If not, I'd recommend it. It's a bit of a time investment, but well worth it in the end. So, yeah, I did watch it back in the 90s when it was actually out. Wasn't like a religious viewer of it like I was with TNG, but I would dip into it like when I could. And I was very impressed by it. Like, I think people shit on it now for like the bad special effects and stuff, but I never really noticed it at the time. I think I was used to a lot of sci-fi shows and low budget sci-fi movies looking pretty shit. And so that didn't bother me like it did with other people. But yeah, I just remember the characters, the performances and stuff. The writing was always super strong. So yeah, great show. Attilio Catoni. Sorry if I butchered your name, buddy. Cheers, man. Have you watched The Eternaut? You might like it. Greetings from Argentina. Yeah, I mean, I watched the first 4 episodes of it. I got a bit stuck and I haven't like progressed with it beyond that. But yeah, like it was an intriguing premise, like the snow that will just instantly kill you if you go outside or it touches your skin in any way. Like it's a great pervasive threat, and the question is over how it happens and what it means for people. Like, is it affecting the whole world? I'm interested to see where it goes. I just haven't had time to carry on with it. But yeah, I like the fact as well, like the main characters, the sort of main cast, they don't look like movie stars or anything. They just look like regular people. And I think that's really to its credit. It helps you get immersed in it. So yeah, like I say, I'm partway through season 1. Haven't finished it yet, but I like it so far. Yeah, Kane says, "Drinker, you Chad, guilty as charged. Ever play or finish Expedition 33? Yeah, as I was saying earlier, man, I took a break from it so I could play the Resident Evil 2 and 3 and complete them. So I've done that. So I'm happy to go back to Expedition 33. Haven't finished it yet. It is quite a time sink of a game. There is a lot in it. I'm enjoying it. So I don't want to rush it and just get to the end as quickly as possible. It's a good story, good voice, cast. The characters are interesting. They're likable. The female characters are like not complete arseholes, so that's nice as well. They're actually like interesting people. John Gets Gaming. Drinker. I figured I'd introduce myself as I am the John. Hey! The John referenced in Mr. Backseater from the EFAP anniversary stream. Needless to say, I don't share his views on yourself or Mauer. Cheers. The legendary John. Well, man, I'm pleased to know that you don't think I'm a complete dingbat. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. I feel this is a special moment for all of us. I need to get Mauer here right now. Yeah, someone clip that. Superfly, what's an absolute beloved cinematic classic that you hated? Good question. Fuck. What would it be? Hated's a strong word. I never really liked Trainspotting. Just because it's like really shitty people doing shitty things to each other, and there's not a whole lot of redeeming qualities to any of them. There was that. Requiem for a Dream, similar reasoning, in that it's just super fucking depressing and bleak, and it's like I feel like I just need some kind of cause for hope at the end of a movie. So possibly those two. Generally speaking, I'm not like a too against most classics. I'm just trying to think if there's any others that like really stuck with me. Like, oh, I don't get that. Um, no, I might need to come back to that one. Yeah. Any experience with the Kingdom Hearts series? Sadly, not. No. Which is a shame because I'm a big Final Fantasy VII fan, and I think Cloud and Aerith and a few other characters show up in it. So, it just, I don't know. It always seems like a bit goofy, for lack of a better word. Sorry, that was a fucking terrible pun. Yeah, it's just the idea of like Mickey Mouse and stuff, like going up against villains from a whole bunch of like actual serious games and teaming up with like Cloud and stuff from Final Fantasy. It was a weird idea. But yeah, apparently they're like extremely popular and like there is a good story to be told there. It was just not quite for me. Grant says, "Do you like Tom Clancy novels? If so, do you have a favorite? Do you have some favorite authors who write in the same genre as you?" Yeah, I like Tom Clancy novels. What is the one where it's like Japan goes to war with America? Oh fuck, what is that one called? Debt of Honor. Yeah. That's probably my favorite. I do like The Bear and the Dragon as well, and Hunt for Red October, obviously. So those would be probably my top picks. Funny, I never made it through Rainbow Six. I think I got about halfway through that book, and it's an absolute fucking brick of a book. It is huge, absolutely labyrinthine, and I think maybe I was just too young at the time when I attempted it. It's still on my bookshelf somewhere, so maybe one day I'll finish it. Excuse me. Zod says, "As a fellow drinker and Wrath of Khan lover, I feel that everyone misses Kirk still feeling the ale when they encountered the Reliant." What's that? Everyone misses Kirk's is feeling the ale. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to pick apart this super chat here. Yeah, man, like the whole movie is superb, but that first encounter with Khan and the Reliant, absolute masterclass of like tension, rising action, like the sudden like violent attack on the Enterprise, and the chaos afterwards. Yeah, absolutely superb, and modern Trek could never even hope to equal that. John Gets Gaming, have you seen the Demon Slayer series? I highly recommend, and it's a manageable amount of episodes compared to some other recommendations that you've got. Haven't seen it yet. No. Again, I try to find the time to get through stuff like this, but it is not always easy because there's a lot of stuff recommended to me. But yeah, Demon Slayers, I'll add it to my list for sure. Excuse me. ADs, I'm about to travel to Scotland for the first time. I'll be on the west side of Scotland. What should I see and do? Thanks for your continued work here. What should you do? Get the fuck over to the east side because that's the nice side of Scotland. On the west, you've got Glasgow and Greenock. I don't think anyone wants to go there. Fucking brutal. Just don't go to Cumbernauld, okay? That place is a shithole. Sorry to anyone who's watching this from Cumbernauld, but you know it's true. Your town's shite. Get out of there. But yeah, try and make your way up to the Highlands as well. That's where you get all the beautiful scenery, man. It's lovely up there. Rambo, thoughts on Invincible season 2 and 3? I don't know yet, sadly. Loved season 1. Apparently season 2 is not great, but then season 3 is really good. I just haven't got around to watching it yet. Exotic Player, Drinker, I hope you play Chronos the New Dawn sometime on your gaming channel. It looks pretty good. I will add it to my list of things to do, I think. Thanks, man. Amr Siddiq, with the success of the Demon Slayer movie, what do you think Hollywood's reaction will be? Also, have you ever watched a long-running anime like One Piece? Probably the biggest one I've watched was Attack on Titan. That was 7 seasons, I think, plus like a million wrap-up episodes. So that's probably the longest one that I've watched. Very much enjoyed it, What's Hollywood's reaction going to be? They will probably try to adapt the stylings of anime, but not the actual spirit behind it. And you're going to end up with, slop that's just pushing the message again, and it'll alienate the fans, sadly. Alex Belfort, there's literally a scene where the hero is cornered by villagers in an alley that conveniently has a pommel horse, so the hero does gymnastics on a pommel horse to defeat them. What are you saying? Like, pommel horses just naturally occur in, like, dilapidated alleyways. I don't know what the problem is there. You're selling me on this movie, though. Defo Not Luke says, "Hey Drinker, love your content. Have you seen Scavenger's Reign? It's like Firefly, a brilliant sci-fi show that unfortunately got cancelled after one season." I haven't seen that, I'm afraid, mate. No, don't know. Yeah, General So, poolside interview with Sydney Sweeney. Sign me up, I'll do that. It's a tough gig, but someone has to do it. John Gets Gaming. It's a great show on how a simple plot can be elevated by incredible production and, well, characters. I hope the new movie beats Superman worldwide. Me too. Yeah, it's funny. The more time it's passed, the more I soured on Superman. Also says, aside from one or two very anime characters, it's a lot more welcoming to people who usually aren't into anime. Simple and brutal kind of story. All right, nice. Yeah, here we go. Anime recommendation: Neo Genesis Evangelion. It's quite a mouthful there, but I'm up for it. Yeah, I've heard that reference many times. Apparently, it's something I gotta watch. Timbo Slice. Hey, Drinker, you're an accomplished author. That's a lie. I've had an idea for a story for years now. I have a beginning and an end all planned, but when it comes to actually writing, I can't make the words happen. It's got to be just practice, mate. That's the sad reality of it. There's no winning formula to how you write a novel. It's practice, and it's grinding out those pages and getting it done. And it's often can be a tedious job. It's a very demanding job, and it can be a lonely job a lot of the time. But if you want to get your book finished, that's the only way you're going to get it done. So just make that time, sit down in front of your computer, and just get those pages hammered out. And you might not always write absolute poetry every time. You can always go back and change it later. But yeah, as long as you start making progress kind of encourages further progress, if you know what I mean. So once you've got those first few pages out, you've got some kind of bedrock foundation to build upon for the next lot, and it will happen for you. Brett Leafers, not sure if you're ever into Star Trek. I mean, have you seen my Star Trek watch throughs with Mahler? I talk about it a lot, but you happen to have a favorite era or episode? So my favorite era is the original crew movie era. I love it. I love all those original movies. Star Trek 1 to 6, not so much 5, but I can forgive that. A close second will be the Next Generation era, and that show was just superb. I didn't hate Voyager. I quite liked that. The only one that I'm really sad that I missed out on and I didn't get into as much as I should have was Deep Space Nine, which everyone references as like the best writing that you got in Star Trek. So one day I will go back and watch that. But yeah, those are my favorite eras generally. Buster says Matthew Marsden. I've had him on the channel, actually. He's a good guy. Actually, no. Was it Matthew Marsden? Am I going nuts here? Yeah, that was Matthew Marsden. I was getting my names mixed up there. Yeah, I've had him on for an interview, and he was a good guy, really interesting to talk to. Kieran Early says chances of a drinker recommends. This is starting to kick in now. With Nell and I, new generation need to be aware of its existence. Yeah, this is like a movie about getting drunk. I wholeheartedly approve of it. Nape says, "Happy birthday, brother." Sure, my birthday's not for another 7 or 8 months, but that's okay. How long does it take for you to write a book? Keep up the good old work. Been enjoying for 6 solid years now. Thank you, man. You've been one of the early supporters. I appreciate you. Yeah, how long does it take? Usually about 6 months from beginning to end to give you a sort of finished manuscript. Then it goes off to my editor who will make suggestions and stuff. Then there's another month of editing, and pretty much at the end of that, then we're more or less ready to go. So 6-7 months really from start to finish for me. I work fairly quick for an author. Like some people take 2-3 years, or in George R.R. Martin's case 10 or 15 years to write a book. Not quite as long for me, but then again, I'm not as successful, so maybe there's something to be said about that. Warsong, thanks for all the entertainment, and that crowd in London was a sight to see, especially in the moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Yeah, it's a very poignant moment. Now, when is the next happy hour? Love the Commando, Lord of the Rings, and Trek vids. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Yeah, I've been thinking about the next happy hour to do. I mean, I'd love to do another one with Mauer. there's various movies I'd like to cover. I mean, Space Ice is always a good guest as well. He's my 80s action movie aficionado, so maybe I could get him back for another one. But yeah, it has been a little while since we've done one, so I'd like to do another one soon. It's again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like sometimes you can lose sight a little bit about the things that made your channel and got you started. And I don't know, it's nice to get back to that a little bit, and maybe it'll be good to have a bit of a revamp of how I do things. So watch this space, I think. Yeah, Jared Hall, opinion on the Sharp movies. They're not really movies, they're, well, I suppose they are. Yeah, like TV movies, aren't they? I love them. I actually have a review buried deep within the archives of my channel where I talk about Sharp. This is the thing that I've noticed recently, right? A channel like mine, obviously, that's been going for, a good number of years now, there's a big back catalogue of reviews there. And YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, a few years ago, changed the algorithm. So they really didn't recommend old videos to anyone anymore. So all of those old ones just died and people just forgot they even existed. But they did exist. And there seems to have been something that's changed recently over the past few weeks. And now a lot of my older videos are now getting recommended to people, and it's weird. There's ones like The Dark Knight Rises. I made that video like 4 years ago, and it had gone to basically nothing. It was like getting 100 views a day or whatever. Now it's getting like tens of thousands of views per day. It's weird. I don't know what they've changed, but like suddenly my older videos are getting recommended again. But it's nice because then there's like a lot of stuff I did back then I'm really glad I talked about. And one of them was Sharp, and that was a proper old review. So yeah, if you look back, you'll get my thoughts on it. But I really liked it. I grew up watching it in the early 90s, and I thought it was great. Napoleonic War. It's fantastic. Excuse me. AC Explains says, you mentioned in your JJ video how badly he bungled the end of Lost. Can you elaborate your take on the ending of Lost a bit more? Mostly that, like, there was never an explanation for what the island actually was. I mean, I get like, okay, at the end they're all kind of dead and they're in like a sort of holding area before they pass on to the next life or the afterlife or whatever, and that's what the church thing at the end with Jack. But the show never really does explain how the island was created, where it came from, the real purpose that it serves. I mean, we get told that it's like a kind of cork in a bottle to stop all the chaos that it's containing from spilling out into the world. Okay, well, how did that come to be? Like, how does it serve that purpose? What does it do? I just feel like there was a whole bunch of promises made at the beginning of that show that were still never fulfilled by the end. That was pretty frustrating about it. And yeah, I see the ending of Lost as being a real downer. I mean, it definitely gone through a lot of problems along the way anyway. Particularly once you start introducing time travel and there's like a whole season when they're back in the 1970s, it's like, oh, okay, you're losing us now, man. But yeah, the first couple of seasons were absolutely superb. I remember just being gripped by it back in the day. Fucking loved Lost. I'm gonna try and find the biggies here. Excuse me for a second. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. Jason Van Patten says, greetings from the States. Thanks for the years of entertainment with your reviews. I may be late to the party, but I've been keeping up with the new Terminalist season. It doesn't suck so far. I've started it. Yeah, I'm like 2 episodes in so far. It's like Terminalist Dark. Oh, what the fuck's the name for it again? Hold on. Yeah, Dark Wolf. That was it. So it's kind of like a prequel following one of the characters from the season 1 of Terminal List and like what his backstory is. Yeah, I've been quite liking it. I mean, they know their spec ops kind of action thriller stuff pretty well, and it's a fun one to do, man. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of it. And since you were good enough to send me such a big super chat, I'm going to drink this before I pass out and die. So cheers to you, sir. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow, that one went down hard. I'm just gonna have to do a couple of these ones here before I finish up. I will obviously answer all the super chats in a catch up. Stormweaver says, "Good evening, Critical Drinker. First time watching you live. Well, I hope I haven't disappointed you too much, as I say to Tatiana on a Saturday evening quite often. Have enjoyed your videos? All the best to you and yours. Stay safe after what happened to Charlie Kirk." Thank you very much. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. So thank you for that. Let's see. Yeah, Zinni says, "Good evening to our beloved drunken lord." The drinker has come to you. Say, sir, have you ever watched Transformers 1? It came out last year and was pretty overshadowed by its awful marketing, but the movie itself is a masterpiece in my opinion. It could be a great drinker recommends if you ever give it a shot. Yeah, I did finally get round to watching it not that long ago, maybe like a month ago or something. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a decent movie. Good fun characters. The action sequences and stuff were well done. I had no issues with it. Yeah, it was good stuff. And yeah, I don't know why it just didn't get any traction, but yeah, it was an unfortunate one. What is this? Ian Schamberg says, "My friend Gary passed away very unexpectedly this past summer. He was a huge fan of yours. I'm sorry, man. My condolences to you. Yours videos being one of the last that he watched. Would you mind doing a toast to him?" I will absolutely drink a toast to him, sir. To your friend Gary, man, may you rest in peace. Sorry about that, buddy. What's the next one? Oh, sorry. I just want to make sure I don't miss out any big ones here because people have been super generous in the chat here. You guys have sent me so many bloody super chats. I feel bad because I've not even been able to keep up with regular chat here because it's just been overwhelming. Yeah. What I'm probably going to do is finish up there just now, right? But I want to say thank you to everyone that's come and hung with me for a few hours tonight, or like hour and a half, 2 hours, or whatever it's been. I appreciate you guys taking the time out for this, and I've done my best to, try and keep keep you guys entertained for a little while. As I always do, I will catch up on any super chats that I've missed in just a recorded session, and I'll answer all the questions that were outstanding there. But no, I want to say thanks for this. I've enjoyed just hanging with you guys and doing an Ask the Drinker stream. It's been too long since I've done one. My head's probably not going to thank me in the morning for all the fucking shots that I've done tonight. But I'll get past that. But thank you. And you will catch me again on Open Bar on Thursday. But for now, that is all I've got for today. So go away now.